Okay, so good day everyone. My name is Fase Lorenzo, and we will be tackling about the Module 3 under the subject Pre-Calculus. So what is under Module 3? So we will be having two lessons for this module. For lesson 1, we have the solutions of system of linear equations or nonlinear equations. What do we mean by nonlinear equations? Nonlinear equations are equations that deals with the functions having a graph of curved lines. Let's dig deeper. What is the meaning of nonlinear equations? Okay, let's start here. So what is a nonlinear equations or what is nonlinear equation? So system of nonlinear equations are two or more equations having curved lines on its graph. Examples of it are the conic sections like the circle, parabola, ellipse, and hyperbola. From the previous discussions, we had tackled the circle, parabola, ellipse, and hyperbola, and it depends on their orientation if they are vertically or horizontally oriented, and the circle if it depends if the center is at the origin or outside the origin. Okay, so how to solve the system of nonlinear equations? To solve for the system of nonlinear equations, we have two methods to solve them. We have the elimination method and the substitution method. Let's have an example for us to understand how to use the elimination and substitution method in solving systems of nonlinear equations. For example, number 1. Suppose that we have an equation 1 having x squared plus y squared, which is equal to 1. And this stands for equation 1. And we also have here equation 2, which is a linear equation, which is y is equal to x minus 1. Since the exponents of the variables are all equal to 1 for equation 2, then this is what we call a linear equation. While for equation number 1, this is what we call a nonlinear equation because it is an equation for a circle. If we try to solve for this, we will be using the substitution method since we have a value for y, which is x minus 1. So we will use the substitution method. Okay, so for equation 1, we have x squared plus y squared, which is equal to 1. And we know that y squared is just equal to x squared plus the value of y is x minus 1. So we will substitute the value of y, which is x minus 1 squared is equal to 1. Now, let's try to expand the binomial. So this is x squared plus x multiplied by x, that is x squared. Multiply your first term to your second term and multiply it by 2. So x times negative 1 is negative x. Multiplied by 2, that's already negative 2x. And if we try to multiply the last term by itself, negative 1 multiplied by negative 1, that is positive 1. And this is just equal to 1. Next, this is x squared. So if we have x squared and 2x squares, by combining similar terms, x squared plus x squared is 2x squared. And this is minus 2x. Since we don't have a similar term for this term, so it will remain. And positive 1 will be transposed to the right side, and this will become 1 minus 1. So we know that 1 minus 1 is just equal to 0. And we try to write 2x squared here. 2x squared minus 2x. Okay? So if we try to factor out the value of 2x, so what remains here is x minus 1 equal to 0. Now we have two possible values for x. If we try to equate 2x to 0, so 2x is equal to 0, and if we divide both sides by 2, the value of x here will be x is equal to 0. And this is for x sub 1. Now, but for x sub 2, we have here x minus 1. So x minus 1 is equal to 0. So where did x minus 1 came from? Here. We have 2 values for x. This is for 2x and this is for x minus 1. And we both equate them in 0. So x minus 1 is equal to 0. And if we try to transpose negative 1 to the right side, we have x is equal to positive 1. So we have two values for x. We have x sub 1 and x sub 2. Now, we will try to find the value of y based on the values of x that we had solved to get the solution of the following equations. Now, we try to use equation 2. And equation 2 has an equation of y is equal to x minus 1. Now, if x of 1 is equal to 0, let's try to substitute y is equal to 0 minus 1 and y is equal to negative 1. How about here? If we have y is equal to x minus 1 and your x sub 2 is just equal to positive 1, so if we try to substitute for the value of x, so we have y is equal to 1 minus 1. So y is just equal to 0. Okay, so we have here the solutions for the values of x and y. So for the nonlinear equations, we have if x is 0, then we have a value for negative 1. And if x is positive 1, then the value of your points here is 1, 0. So meaning these are the points of intersection of your circle and the nonlinear equation. So if we try to figure this graphically, we have a circle, then it will intersect the circle into 2 points, which is the coordinates 0, negative 1. So for example, this is the center of the circle at the origin, 0, 0, and 0, negative 1 is located here, right? So this is located here, 0, negative 1, and we also have 1, positive 0. So this is 1, positive 0. So this here. So if we have a line y is equal to x minus 1, this can be seen as it intersects the circle at exactly 2 points. And the 2 points here is 0, negative 1, and 1, 0. So if you try to solve for the solutions of nonlinear equations, we are trying to look for the points of intersection of their graphs. Okay? So let's have example number 2. So find the solutions for the following equations. Since we had already used the substitution method for example number 1, now we will be trying to use here the elimination method. But how do we use this one? So if we have an equation 1 having x squared plus y squared is equal to 13, and for equation 2, we will be having x squared minus y squared is equal to 5, then we will try to use the elimination method by adding the two equations. Let me just write elimination method. Okay, so let's have x squared plus y squared is equal to 13. And let's have x squared minus y squared is equal to 5. If we try to add this one, so this is y squared. We try to cancel y squared. So we have x squared plus x squared, that is already 2x squared. And 13 plus 5, that's already 18, right? And we try to divide both sides by 2. So now x squared is equal to positive 9. And if we try to get the square root of this one, if we try to get the square root, then we will be having two possible values for your square root. So we have x is just equal to positive negative 3. Okay? So to look for the value of y, you can use the substitution method for positive 3 and negative 3 on equation 1 or equation 2. Let's try to use equation 2 as the substitution, as an equation where we could substitute the values of x. So for substitution method, so we have here, if x is equal to positive 3, then we'll use equation 2. So 3 is square minus y square is equal to 5. And we know that 3 square is 9. And we transpose 5 to the left side, so this will become 9 minus 5. And we transpose negative y squared to the right side, so this will be y squared. So 9 minus 5, that is already 4. And this is y squared. And if we try to get the square root of 4, so we will be having two possible values for y, which is y, okay, y is equal to positive, negative 2, okay? So if x is equal to 3, we have two possible values for y, which is positive, negative 2. Okay, how about for this one? If x is equal to negative 3, let's try. X is equal to negative 3. So negative 3 multiplied by itself twice. So we have negative 3 square minus y square is equal to 5. Since negative 3 multiplied by negative 3, that's already 9, positive 9. And we try to transpose again 5 to the other side. So this is 9 minus 5 is equal to, we transpose negative y squared to the other side, we have y squared. Now they are the same, right? 9 minus 5 is 4. And if we try to get the square root of this one, we will be having the values for y is equal to positive, negative 2. So meaning, for x is equal to 3, you will be having possible values for positive 2 and negative 2. And for negative 3, we will be having possible values for positive and negative 2. To write for the solution set of this equation, we have the set for the coordinates or points, which is, okay, let's have the set of points. Let's try to use this one, the set notation. So we have 3, positive 2, and we also have here 3, negative 2. We also have the point negative 3, positive 2, and we also have the point negative 3, then we have negative 2. So by using the notation, we have 4 points for the points of intersection of the following non-linear equations. So we have 3, 2, 3, negative 2, negative 3, positive 2, and negative 3, negative 2. Okay, let's proceed with lesson 2. For lesson 2, we have here the series. So what is a series? Okay, so there are two methods for us to represent a series as a solution. We have first the general term and sigma notation. So series is the sum of the terms in a sequence. In a sequence, during the grade 10, we have other types of sequences. We have the arithmetic sequences, harmonic sequence, and we also have the geometric sequence. Now, if you try to add the terms of the sequence, we call them series. Okay, a general term of a sequence is the formula that is used to calculate any number in a sequence, which will lead to determining the sum of its terms. For example, we have a sub n is equal to n plus 2, where a sub n is the term and n is the term number, or meaning what is the order of the terms that we have, or the position based on its relative position. Okay, let's try to have an example. To further understand what is series, what are general term, and what are sigma notation. Okay, for example, we have here, let represent the general term of a sequence by the following formula. So by listing the 5 terms or the first 5 terms of the sequence having this formula a sub n is equal to 2n minus 1, let's just try to substitute the values of n. Since n is the number of terms, we know that n is equal to 1 is the first term. If n is equal to 1, that is your first term. If n is equal to 2, that is your second term. And if n is equal to 3, that's third term. N is equal to 4, and n is equal to 5, in respect with their terms. Let's try to substitute. So a sub 1 is just equal to 2 multiplied by 1 minus 1. So we know that a sub 1 is 2 times 1 is 2. 2 minus 1 is already 1. So your first term here is 1. How about for a sub 2? So a sub 2 here is 2 multiplied with the value of n, which is 2 minus 1. So 2 times 2, that is 4. And 4 minus 1, this is equal to 3. So meaning your second term for the sequence is positive 3. How about for a sub 3? Then if we have a sub 3 here, that is 2 multiplied by the value of n, which is 3 minus 1. So 2 times 3, that is 6. 6 minus 1, that is 5. So meaning you have 5 for your third term. Now, we have a sub 4. 2 multiplied by 4 minus 1. And 2 times 4, that is already 8. And 8 minus 1 is just equal to 7. So this is the fourth term of your sequence. Having the nth term, a sub n is equal to 2n minus 1. For the last term, we have a sub 5. So we try to multiply 2 by 5. So this is equal minus 1. So 2 times 5, that is 10. And 10 minus 1 is equal to 9. Okay, to list the terms, we know that the sequence is composed of 5 terms based on the given example. So we will try to write this as the sequence having an nth term to n minus 1 as 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9 until it reaches the maximum point or the maximum value of the nth term. Okay, so we have here a sequence 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. And this is what we call an arithmetic sequence because they have a common difference. And the common difference of the terms are 2 because we know that 3 minus 1 is 2, 5 minus 3 is 2, 7 minus 5 is 2, and 9 minus 7 is also 2. Okay, so for the summation notation, to get the sum of a sequence by writing a series from the general term of the corresponding sequence, we use the summation. Okay, for example, the sequence a sub n is equal to 2n. The sum of the first 5 terms of the given sequence can also be written as the summation of 2i as I is equal to 1 up to 5. Okay, let's try how does this work. So we know that I is just the first term until you reaches the 5, which is your fifth term. Let's try to solve for this problem. Okay. First is, this is 2i. So if we try to solve for this one, we have here the solution. So we know that this is the summation of 2i from I is equal to 1 up to 5. So all you need to do is substitute the values of I here. So we know that the value of I are 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, let's try. So we have 2 multiplied by 1 plus 2 multiplied by 2 because we are dealing with 2i plus 2 multiplied by 3 plus 2 multiplied by 4 plus 2 multiplied by positive 5. So these are your 2i's from 1 to 5. So 2 times 1 is 2 plus 2 times 2, that is 4. 2 times 3, that is 6. 2 times 4, that is 8. And 2 times 5, that is 10. And if you try to simplify for this one, 2 plus 4 is 6. 6 plus 6 is 12. 12 plus 8 is 20. And 20 plus 10, that is already 30. So the summation of 2i, starting from I is equal to 1 up to 5, has a sum of 30. Okay, let's try to evaluate this one. So we have here the summation of I squared minus 1, where I is from 3 and up to 7. So meaning I will start at exactly 3 as the minimum value, 4, 5, 6, 7, as your maximum value. Okay, so let's try to solve for this one. So let's just write, this is the summation of I is equal to 3 up to 7 of I squared minus 1. Let's try to check. Okay, I squared minus 1. So this can be equal to, it starts with 3. We have 3 squared minus 1 plus 4 squared minus 1 plus 5 squared minus 1 until you reach 7 plus 6 squared minus 1. So we have here the following. Again, this should reach 7. So 6 squared minus 1 plus 7 squared minus 1. So 3 squared is 9. And 9 minus 1, that is already 8, right? Okay. 4 squared 16 minus 1, that is 15. And we also have here 5 squared. So 5 squared is 25. 25 minus 1, that is 24. And we also have here 6 squared minus 1. So we know that 6 squared is 36 minus 1, that is 35. And we know that 7 squared is 49. And 49 minus 1 is 48. And if we try to add the following by simplifying this one, 8 plus 5, or 8 plus 15 plus 24 plus 35 plus 48 is just equal to 130. So this is the value of the summation of I squared minus 1 from I is equal to 3 up to 7, having a value of 130. So that's how you use the general term and for the summation of a series to get the sum of the terms using the properties of summation. Okay, thank you for listening, and that's all for Module 3.